The Jivandan, the journey of Jivandan started probably in 2010, and with some of the senior members of the country and with the help of people from Indian Society for Organ Transplantation and other organizations, they met the Parliament committee, and they wanted the organ donation to take place properly in our country and to be streamlined. Prior to that, there have been some incidents where the doctors and the hospitals were targeted for doing an organ donation and the transplantations. So in order to streamline the entire program, they came out with a new protocol. Prior to that, new program with under the aegis of the Government of India, the Department of Health and Family Welfare before that. Although the 1994, the Act has come into picture and passed in the Parliament, but it took such a long time for them to start a program totally dedicated to the disease donor transplantation program in the country. So other states also have taken up seriously, and probably Tamil Nadu is the one which has actually led the other states, and they have done very good and marvelously with so many transplantations, and it's still the number one, and Telangana is the number two in the country. And though we are the per million population donations wise, we are number one in the country. Our population being 4 crores, and Tamil Nadu being 4.5 to 4.8 crores, 8.4 to 8.6 crores. So similarly, ever since the transplantation program started in the state of the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh and continued to be doing very good in this Telangana state also, we have done almost nearly 1,800 approximately the donations, which is definitely the number, very good number. And most of the donations have done predominantly in the corporate sector. This particular part of this country, the corporate culture is very good, and corporate hospitals are doing very good. They have taken a proactive state. And the government, because of some problems and issues, both technically, administrative, and otherwise, they're not doing so good as expected. Though we know that the most of the patients who are sick otherwise, especially the trauma and all, they reach up to the government hospitals initially. And there may be some technical issues, and other they could not really take up this disease donor transplantation program seriously. Maybe there are so many intricacies involved in managing the sick patient in casualties and emergency medicine departments of the government sector. But the private sector has taken up very, very seriously. And ever since the Telangana state is formed, and the program has actually taken a different shape, and we have been doing very well as far as the donations is concerned. And awareness programs are concerned, we have done a good number of awareness programs across the state of Telangana. And every year, probably the last year we did not do that, but every year we have been organizing the programs to felicitate the donor families.
So today is the World Transplant Day, and I feel yesterday was World Environment Day. So they almost go together in the sense that it's one of the holy missions of the medical fraternity, one which can be very, very satisfying, and perhaps the only part of the medical profession in which one person's loss can be the gain of another. In the sense, a person who gives his organs, donates, can become a hope of life for someone else. So that being the background in which this World Transplant Day is being organized. Regarding the Green Corridor, with the same spirit, when I worked as Additional Commissioner of Traffic in Hyderabad city, perhaps that was the beginning of this coordination between the hospitals and the traffic police. I remember those days in 2010-11 when Apollo Hospital and other hospitals, we had some discussions regarding this, and it was agreed that it's a very important function which we had to discharge. Till then, we did not have a very good traffic signaling system. It was installed in the city in 2011. We had only ordinary signals, and the entire traffic would have to be stopped for transport of these organs. And once the modern signaling system which you see today, which we call HTRIMS, Hyderabad Traffic Integrated Management System, was installed, that helped us coordinate the movement of organs from various states. For instance, heart or a lung may be available in somewhere in Delhi or in Patna, but the flight time, and then, as you said, there's just 4 hours or 3 hours before it has to be transplanted. So the flight time and after landing, the journey time has to be reduced. So this green corridor, all these signals on that route would be put on green, and just with minimal disturbance to traffic and the inconvenience to other citizens, this organ transport used to be done. That's how we slowly learnt on our job. And I think by now, I think most of the traffic department is quite adept at doing this transportation of organs from various places, not only within the state, but from outside. So this is my personal experience with this part of the medical department.
And as Dr. Sarath said, the problem with the heart and lungs is, as of now, not like kidney and liver. There is no question of any live-related donor. We basically depend upon cadaver donors, brain death donors, whatever you call them. And without them, it's very difficult. There are developments happening in that area, but still, so the source for us is very limited. So unless someone comes with a brain death and the family agrees to donate, there is no way we can do that. Even in that, we have restrictions like age limits. For example, kidney and liver, I believe they take even at the age of 65, 70 also. Whereas the heart, because of the epidemic of heart problems in our country, we cannot take heart, and sometimes most of the people are smokers who cannot take lungs like that. So we have a restriction, certain age period, how the condition of the heart, lungs, based on that. Yeah, such donations are less, and almost 50% of them are not fit to donate either heart or lungs or both. So we live with those restrictions. Whereas on the other side, the heart problems are epidemic. You know, there's so many people. The commonest problem today we have, apart from cancers, is the heart issue is there. So we have thousands of patients who are in end-stage heart failure and lung problem. They basically require transplant to keep them live for longer time. Many of us, one of my longest surviving patient is 16 years since transplant, and he is continuing his business. And there are many people in the software doing businesses, leading a near normal life. That is possible for these patients who are on deathbed, about to die in a few days or weeks, to live for years. So the quality of life, carrying on their dreams, taking care of their families, it is possible only with these things. We do not have dialysis, things like that. So unfortunately, we have two problems. One is about the number of donations, as Dr. C. Boston Garu said. But first of all, I have to say thank you to those families who, when they were struck with the grief, still they took time to think of the humanity and society and have come forward to donate. Thank you so much first. And we need many more of them. See, Bhushan Rajgaru is saying that, see, our society is full of parasites. I would say, please quote it. Parasites. We depend on government. We fight with the government for everything. What is that we are doing? Nothing. At least even the government, instead of saying that we continue reservations, we give kg for rice, we do all these things for free. When they are taking for free, ask for something. When people are taking the advantage of the government, few people who pay the income tax, you pay all their money to them, at least they should sign yes or no on a sheet whether they want to donate or not. For example, Arogyasri, how many people are getting benefited? You want to take it, Arogyasri scheme? Just give a paper, let them say yes or no. Are you willing to donate organ or not? Otherwise, how will the awareness increase in this country where we have to struggle for everything? So I think government has to take some difficult decisions. For example, governments like UK, they have put in a system of opt-out. What it means is, anyone who is brain dead in an accident, you are supposed to take organs unless the family comes and says no. Whereas the system in our country is opt-in, wherein you have the transplant coordinator, doctors, they have to go and ask them, and most of the time they're in that grief, they cannot take the decision, they refuse. So things like that have to be taken. Individuals, small organizations cannot do. I agree with what Bhushan Rajgaru said, the corporates have done wonderful work in medical field. In this country, the reason for development of medical field is corporate hospitals. That too, for example, Apollo, it does the largest number of transplants in the world. Imagine the hard work put in behind it.
here we don't have organ donations per se. If you call a bone marrow as an organ, but still it's not an organ, we don't take it or give it to somebody, we are not losing anything. So basically, the bone marrow transplantation involves giving so-called hematopoietic stem cells, which are nothing but your own the seed cells from, or the mother cells from where you get all your blood cells. That's WBC, hemoglobin, platelets, and people with bone marrow failure or malignancy, cancer or leukemia, lymphoma. We have a concept of giving a new stem cell so that you can cure the cancer. So we are actually we are not taking an organ out. We are just taking some stem cells, like 100 stem cells are produced daily. 10% of the stem cells are used by the body for formation of new cells. 90% of your stem cells are actually going waste. 48 hours they wait and they die. We are using that 90% cells which are not used by your body. And it's like a seed. You put back a seed in the on the ground, it'll actually grow back. A seed outside the above the ground, it's as good as waste or a food, right? So we are using cells which are getting unused by the body to somebody else. So we do some sort of conditioning, immunosuppression, and give it back. But yeah, so we don't have a problem of donation, but the biggest problem is when you do hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, we need something called HLA matched donors. HLA matched in the sense we should have a same genetic match when they donate. And like, sir, everybody has put forward, now we are more like a nuclear families, 2 siblings. My parents had 6, 7 siblings. So getting a match, that's the chance of you getting a full HLA match is probably 1 in 4. And that is the biggest problem coming in the country now with 2 children. Chinese already faced from last 40 years. Now we have in stem cell program a stem cell registry, something like Jeevan Dan, when you actually have we have a registry where we can put forward the HLA matching of a patient and we can find a donor and subsequently do it. But unfortunately, out of 1.4 billion population, we have probably 3 or 4 lakh HLAs on the site. So most of us, I think most of us will not even know there is something called stem cell registry, this thing, compared to NMDP or it's the American board where we have almost 60% of their population boarded on the HLA map site. So that's what is lacking in the country, to get a match unrelated donor in hematopoietic stem cell transplant. But we are in a better phase than our solid organ colleagues, where, because for us, even a half match transplant from another sibling can be done, but it's a way ahead for us also.
Without asking anything in return. The person who gives it, I'm not talking the family, is absolutely doing it, and the family is collaborating at that time to come out with a beautiful gesture towards the other recipient and to society at large. I think that's the best message. Please do this, please encourage this. Everybody, a lot has been talked about it, but I think to be effective, what I understand, I've been in the business for nearly 40 years now, is there is a supply chain here. Awareness, just awareness is not enough. Then the determination, the family's determination, the society's determination. At the time in the hospital, how you convey the message of organ donation. How smooth is the process of declaration and the other necessary requisites? And later on, how do you value the family members or those who agreed to give the donation, kidney or the organ to the person? Will all make it into a bundle and definitely help us in the long run. So if I've been clear, all these steps, if are clear, and the financial incentives, that also has to be important. The person who is giving at that delicate moment, he or she, the whole family is devastated. Financial incentives, the the emotional incentives, everything, and the follow-up. Then we will make it. Progress will be slow, but it will be definite, and we will really make it.
Now 50% of work is cadaver transplants or diseased donor transplants, where organs are harvested from dead donors or brain dead donors. So that's a big sea change. As Dr. Vokle said, all of our going into the ground or getting burned, but why not we donate these organs and make somebody else live? And there was a very good meme which was put out that if you want if you want yourself to see the world and see beautiful girls in the world, even after your death, donate your eyes so that your eyes will continue to see. So that is a very good message for everybody to pledge organs. And one of the things I've seen when applying for a driving license today is there is an option whether you want to pledge the organs. That's a very good initiative, that when somebody is applying for a driving license, particularly at 17, 18 years of age, you should have a choice whether you are prepared to donate your organs in case of need. Now, the biggest change for organ donation has come from, I think we should acknowledge Mohan Foundation, which started off with this voluntary organization of an NGO, which tried to create the awareness. And this has been further taken up by the government along with Jeevan Dan. Jeevan Dan has done a tremendous work, excellent work in Telangana, trying to increase awareness and also streamlining the whole process of organ donation. Accepted that most of the organs come from corporate sector, as government sector has its own limitations. But in spite of this, the government sector should also try to pitch in and give some more organs rather than take the organs. The government sector, I'm sure, is doing excellent work because they cater to a strata of society who cannot afford corporate treatment. This strata of society has to live. These people have to get the organs. These people have to get treated. But because they cannot afford, they go to the government sector. But again, government sector should also probably pitch in and increase the number of donations which coming from the government hospital. They have a vast resource and it just requires a bit more commitment from the government sector. But by and large, transplant is a teamwork. Any transplant program will tell you it's a teamwork between the physicians, the hospital, the surgeons, as well as the commitment from the patients to continue the immunosuppression and all. So as a team, we should evolve. As a team, we should grow. As a team, we should make this cadaver program much more vibrant than live program. It's always not a very great thing to take a live organ from a live patient, an organ from a living patient. It's always better to take it from a cadaver patient. So I think we should make this awareness more in the society. The society is evolving, and in the last few years, we've seen more number of donations coming in from the society. But again, this message has to trickle down to the last man in the society, saying that when you're dead, when you're brain dead, when you permanently cannot be revived, it's better to donate these organs to somebody else in need. So it's basically a gift of life, which you can give it to somebody else in this society. Thank you.